we're going to look at some of the things that make OKC such an elite team. So first off, starting this offensive rebound, the thing that I love that OKC instantly does is they relocate across the floor. Okay, so as this ball's going to move out, we see SGA steps over here and Dort steps over here. What this does is it puts tremendous stress on the defense because you have to close out aggressively from someone that was on the ground all the way over here. OKC moves the ball and you get a wide open three because of it. And their shooters put such a strain on the defense because you essentially have to change your ball screen coverage for everyone on the floor. And so you essentially cannot do this where you go underneath the screen right here because all they're going to do is they're going to stop behind the screen. Like every good shooter is going to do this in the league, and this is too much space to give elite shooters. And he has a clear shot to the rim, so much space, and like that's a great look for OKC. And then another wrinkle, Houston is trying to clog the paint by sagging off of OKC's non-shooter right here. And so having 34 be able and willing to shoot, if he can shoot that with confidence and shoot that with a decent percentage, it puts even more strain on defenses. Then looking at SGA's ability, and this is a combination of SGA's ability along with the spacing that OKC provides because they're good shooters on the perimeter. The fact that Brooks gets caught on the screen here at all gives SGA essentially room to go downhill. Now he has to beat the big here, but that's going to be a mismatch because he's just so much more athletic. So then what we're watching is these other three players. Usually against most teams, you would have quite a bit of help. But the reason you don't have very much help is because you have good shooters out here on the perimeter, and so they can't really leave, and Fred VanVleet isn't able to commit fully. SGA is going downhill, and it leads to a lot of space and an open layup for SGA. Then again, one of the byproducts of spacing is you have more room to drive as well. So even this is their non-shooter is this player for OKC. Because everyone else is spaced out, it gives him room to drive and attack one-on-one. So this is actually something I don't like from Adams right here, is this jump. I am not a huge fan of that. If your player, frankly, I think the defense should always just jump second. Getting stuck up here in the air like this means you're off balance, you're not going to be able to recover, can't contest a shot. And as Porter Moser says, jump second. I love that. So again, we talk about OKC's offense and their ability to space the floor. This goes to their ability to space the floor and their ability to attack the space as well. Great footwork with the ability to have all this space to work in gives you so many options on offense and get the defender off balance and attack the rim. Gotta love it. I talked about earlier the idea of jump second. This is the idea of jump second along with paired with the idea of attacking it when the defense is out of rotation. So first off, we get Brooks up in the air first, so SGA attacks. This creates it so you have to have help that's coming across. Help that's coming across means there's going to be some defender or some offensive player that's open. Because you have this offensive player, Alex Cruz is a smart player. Again, what does he do? Shot fake, defender leaves his feet. This means that we instantly have players out of rotation again. Okay, so the defense has to step up. Who steps up? This big and or kind of Brooks, which means that the player that was originally guarding the big is no longer there. Alex Cruz does a great job finding him, making the simple pass and an easy dunk. Great offense by OKC. Then OKC does an elite job of using spacing to use driving to create spacing to create open shots. And so here, SGA has abundance of space to work with him. So all he has to do is he has to confuse Brooks a little bit, which he's able to do because of his athleticism. Gets downhill. And that means that because you've had all this spacing, now you have got to have somebody sprint in late. So either SGA is going to have a decent look in the basket or one of your good shooters is going to be open on the perimeter. SGA finds him, and you get 8 with a clean look from the outside. As a good three-point shooter, that's exactly the offense that you look. And the three bounces is beautiful. And then one nice piece of action that OKC runs is an empty side ball screen where essentially you're going to have the big operating in all this space over here is what they want. So first off, we got shooter, no one you can help off essentially. And so if you get the ball coming to the middle, if this player gets caught whatsoever, because you have the guard coming downhill, it means the big's got to be aware. He's got to stay with him for sure. And now you have the big coming this way aggressively, and you have someone smaller behind him. That is a bad scenario with a lot of space for someone that's very long and athletic, and that's an easy dunk for OKC. And then we see the same set that we saw earlier, the exact same concept of the set. We have the big coming over here, and this is going to be a dribble handoff instead of a ball screen, but same concept. If the defender goes under, you just shoot. If the defender gets caught on the screen, then you're going to have the big rolling downhill, and you have a huge amount of space because you have shooter. no one can help over, and so the big has to go with the guard, and that means no one's going to be in front of the big going downhill, and a great pass and another easy basket for OKC. And this is a newer tactic that I've seen more recently in the NBA, is that SGA, as he's closing out right here, instead of coming back to try and get in front of this player to box out, if he's going to go down, just like go out on offense already. Like if you see your team gets the rebound and you're no longer needed on offense, go post up originally. Use it to create a mismatch because Fred VanVleet's the only one down there, and you're probably going to have the size and athletic ability mismatch. So go attack that early if you have that opportunity 100%. And then one of the best things about OKC is how aggressive they are on defense. They have athletes across the board who can play good one-on-one defense and good team defense very, very well. And so as Lou gets on this ball right here, he's not looking to immediately call timeout or try and find to a big to slow down or something. He's immediately looking to push it in transition. And you have players that are sprinting the moment this ball gets on the ground. And that creates so many opportunities for a long athletic team like OKC has, and it leads to a wide open dunk. One crucial piece about defense is being in the right place at the right time and having active hands. If this offensive player gets a little bit lackadaisical and you can see the ball in front of his body just slightly, and I mean, these defenders all have really long arms. If you can reach in there and just get a piece of that because he doesn't go shoulder to shoulder with the big, I mean, that's a great opportunity to try and get a steal in there. Just pokes a hand in there and another easy point for OKC. This one's tough to even give to OKC because I'm not entirely sure what Dillon Brooks is doing right here. He just kind of leaves his dude when they switch. And so I guess this is part of what OKC does is like you have to worry about your defense and your ball screen defense, and so it leads to miscommunication because Brooks just leaves his dude and SG just passes it. I mean, this is like just about the easiest bucket that OKC could get. And then you have tremendous strain on defense when you need to come back because you're down 8 points. So I agree with the philosopher from Houston, but we already said OKC has great drivers, they have great passers, and they have great spacing, which means of these 4 players, someone's going to be open because you don't have a defender now. And so you just throw it to the easiest pass and let that create an advantage because you have 4-on-3 over here. Attack it, and you get Şengün gambles, which he probably had to gamble, frankly. So now you have 4-on-2 even, and like if you think OKC is not going to score 4-on-2, I think you're mistaken. Same concept, we see aggressive defensive philosophy. Şengün gambles means even if SGA is out of the picture, you have 3-on-2, 4-on-2 almost. Get the ball to the middle, find the open player on the outside. He does eventually get it there. It takes a little bit longer, but calm patience in the pocket and a great open look. Gotta love it. And same thing, these baskets aren't exactly the same as the other ones just because the defense is playing non-traditional defense. But OKC is calm under pressure, make the easy pass, let the easy pass lead to the wide open shot. It does, and you get another wide open 3.